Hello, welcome to High Priestess Key 333. I was about to say all in the cars. You guys know I have a big channel on the other side of things. Well, my biggest channel, put it like that. Versus this one that I'm starting out new, but welcome. This is the Gibbous Waning, okay? Which you guys know comes after the full moon, which is the saddle going down, right? And this is our moon phase reading or moon phase messages. Okay, what's in the energy at this time? Now, you guys know I love to show you guys what is actually truly in the sky at this time, right? Um, and the way that I do that is with Sky Live, right? And that's basically what you going out looking at the telescope, looking in the sky and seeing exactly what's in the sky. That is the true sidereal, which is what I resonate here. So if you are wanting another aspect and reference of true sidereal astrology, the Vedic astrology as well, that is what I'm going to cover today. Now, I do like to show you guys what I like to use and how it represents. Hold on, let me present it to you guys. Hold on. Okay. All right. So this is Sky Live. Okay. As you can see, here's the sun. Okay. Which is still a little bit in Taurus. It's moving into um, Gemini today. It will move into Gemini today. I think today or either closer to, it's supposed to be in Gemini already. Okay. So it's moving a little slow because Jupiter is actually in Gemini. If you look, you can see Jim. You see Jim right there. I try to blow it up as big as possible. But anyways, here's Mercury. Um, in all of the planetary alignment here. There's Venus, there's Mars, right? Mars is in Leo, as you can see over here, right? Mars is in Leo. So this is just what I look at. But also, if you go back to the main page for Sky Live, right? And you look at this, right? So this will show you today's date, which is the 16th, right? Anybody can pull this up. Sky Live is actually the solar system in the night sky, what's in the sky at this time. So the sun is in Taurus, the moon is in Aquarius today, Mercury is in Gemini, okay? Venus is in Aries, Mars is in Leo, Jupiter is still in Gemini, okay? Saturn is in Pisces, and Uranus is in Taurus still. Neptune is in Pisces. All right. Now, the forecast and reference of um, the planetary alignment this week, family. Right. I wrote some notes down because I do watch the True Sidereal forecast with Master in the Zodiac. So he does go over a good synopsis. So please check out his channel as well. But Jupiter squares Neptune this week, right? So remember, Jupiter is connected to expansion, but not only that, three times the generational blessings, three times the generational curses. Okay. Jupiter is also about, the 10, which is a win, but you can also shift that energy, and it's like the wheel of fortune. It's either going to turn in your fate or turn outside of your fate. And then when it squares with Neptune, Neptune is about karma. So, if you've been doing some things that haven't been the best, it will be expanded in reference of karma this week. But Neptune is also about technology. So there could be some type of expansion in technology this week that we may see, right? And that goes back to, maybe there is something new that will come out in reference of technology or in reference of AI, or there could be some type of blow up around technology in some way where it could be expanded for the good or expanded for the bad. Okay, so we just have to wait and see how this week plays out. Also, and this could come across more or less around, like Wednesday, Thursday time period. But today, Monday, Tuesday, we have that moon in Aquarius that we just seen, right? Aquarius is about the collective. So we'll have a lot of collective things happening. Now is a good time for you to be in your humanitarian type energy, right? Where we talked about on the morning message, you paying it forward. And doing things of that such, but also it goes back to technology again. This week is going to be a big, big thing around technology and stocks. is what the ancestors just said to me. Um, the sun sextiles Chiron this week, which is a great week of healing coming off of the release from the full moon. So a lot of you should be doing a lot of shadow work when the moon was here. This week will be a replica of that, as well as some of you seeing the bottom line or the aspect of things coming off of the healing process that you're going through this week, because Chiron is about the wounded healer, but the sun is illuminated energy, right? The light. So it will be sextile, which is a good thing, right? So, then the sun is going to move into Gemini by this Friday. That's what I had written down. So that's why it's still showing in Taurus. So we'll move into Gemini by this Friday in the true sidereal, right? And the verdict is already in Gemini, based off of the degrees. Okay. And this week is the last quarter. Okay. So the last quarter, some people call it the third quarter. It'll be on Wednesday. The last quarter is about endings. It's also about health. So, be very prominent in reference of your health, be very prominent in reference of your things ending, right? And new beginnings come after endings, but there could be a lot of endings to things, okay? So be very prone to that. And, that comes at the last quarter. Maybe a lot of deaths this week that we see, okay? Death in reference of people passing on and a lot of breakups, okay, this week because of the third quarter, the last quarter, the ending, right? Um, we have a new moon coming. I think the new moon, I can't remember when it's coming. I have to look that up, but it's in Gemini. Let's see. I could tell you guys. The next one is, let's see here, the 25th of June, but we'll talk about that later. Mars sextiles Jupiter this weekend. The sun squares Saturn and Neptune coming up probably the weekend, closer to the weekend. And on Sunday, Mercury moves into Cancer. Um, and then on the 21st, we have the summer solstice, which is a wonderful time for you to start really getting into the aspect of summer, right? That's what we go by. I go by the solstices and the equinoxes, not the seasons, because that truly is the Eastern astrology way. And that's what I resonate with. Okay. So summer solstice this year, I normally do big things for the summer solstice, but this year I'm going to probably just do a class and meditations. All right. So if you want to do that, please check me out over on Patreon under All in the Cards for my main channel. Okay. But let's get to these Gibbous Waning messages, because we've been talking a lot about the planetary forecast, or where the planetary alignment is at this time. Let's look and see what Gibbous Waning is going to bring to the collective at this time. Ancestors, show us in the cards. What's the messages around this energy for the Gibbous Waning, please? What's the energy? Right here, ancestors. What's the energy around the Gibbous Waning for the collective, please? Show us. What's the energy for the Gibbous Waning? Ashe. Ancestors say what it is people going after that money. It's that Jupiter, right? I told you that Jupiter squares Neptune energy, but we also got to endure some Saturn. Saturn is in Pisces, and Saturn is also what we coming off of. That's also going to be squared with the sun, so illuminated. And a lot of people doing divination, but this also goes back to some endings. So, big things around spirituality, okay? Yeah, people educating themselves on how to change things for the greater good. And also, I'm seeing here, just by off of the message that the ancestors is giving us here for the collective, and how you're handling, endings. I got Triton energy all over and over and over. But this is definitely about a lot of things ending. This could be in reference of, you want to be very careful about your finances, healing. A lot of you guys are going to feel a big sigh of relief when it comes to something that you have ended that doesn't serve your highest good and freedom. Okay. Some people are wanting to have that freedom, right? So things are shifting. Some of you are getting ready to come into some finances. Okay, that's going to be the ending of poverty for you, the ending of you feeling like you don't have or you lack. That's coming in. Answers is showing it's a big intervention coming in for those, but it could also be an interruption. It's just based off of how you handle the situation. This week goes towards a lot of Scorpios, Leos, Aries, um, energy. Okay. And we know Aries is all about that heightened passion, fiery energy, right? But we also have that Saturn energy in reference of what you will endure and the things that you can attract to yourself if you're not careful. I do see that we're going to be enduring countries and nations having to come together this week. The Gibbous waning is like that's gonna be the topic of this week around the Gibbous waning is bringing nations together. Okay, so you'll see that like United Nations. It's gonna be talk of that. How they're gonna react. A lot of it is going to be based off of money, finances, earthly possessions, right? Earnings. A lot of you are enduring those type things. A lot of you are enduring listening to your intuition and making informed decisions. Um, there's going to be a lot here that people are going to be trying to heal from in reference of those topics as well, right? But the success is going to come to a lot of you guys during this energy around you being creative, writing, doing what it is in reference of your creative skills. Um, right now, the ancestors is telling us towards the law of compensation, it's looking good, but it's a lot that's going to end for some. And a lot of you are ending debt. You're putting an end to um, no longer dealing with some type of aspect that could be causing you some type of financial harm. And for some of you, this is relationships that are coming to an end with love. Okay. And a lot of you are, this also comes to me in reference of some of you actually being inspired to sit down or to come like in the spiritual community to kind of walk away from doing is hold on one moment, family. Hold on. Okay, sorry, family. That was my son. Scared me with the doorbell. If for some reason it rings on my phone, so it was like shocked me, right? But anyways, it's a lot of you spiritualists out there, those that may be into spirituality very strong, may read cards, may do your divination, may be in religions, African religions, Islamic, whatever it may be. Um, but this goes back to no ancient knowledge, occult knowledge, esoteric knowledge, right? This is my Tahuti card, but it goes back to the energy of divination as well as, excuse me, the cosmic law with Mayat. So things that happen here in the physical have to also go through the segment of spiritual law, regardless, because it's always duality. Remember, the metaphysical is what's to be proven, but can't be proven here in the 3D until it is proven, right? So sometimes we'll see it after the fact through divination. Some of you guys are going to have just that happen, where it's going to be like some type of miracle that may come up in your life, but in actuality, you may have seen it coming. Now, another part of this is what I was talking about, how some of you are going to be kind of falling back from doing divination, right? Because now you have that divine intelligence, right? You're going through a segment of healing. Um, in that healing, you're coming to the peak of that, right? With your spirituality. And so that's that ending, right? A lot of people you may see ending channels, maybe ending companies and businesses that are spiritually attached in some way. But it also goes back to that Saturn and Moon, people making decisions, listening to their intuition about what it is that they need to end. So we're going to see that happening, especially with the waning, because that's coming down, right? So this is definitely what's happening around this waning energy. Let's do a little bit of clarity on this spread here. A lot of you are inspired in reference of money this week and changing your living conditions and so forth. That's what flew out. But I'm definitely seeing everyone is inspired in reference of making some type of money. That's in the law of inspired actions. What's changing for a lot of you guys is your earthly possessions. Things like your homes, your cars, your houses, things like that are changing for a lot of you. And for some, it's going to be good, and for some, it's going to be bad. But let's do clarity on the spread in reference of this Gibbous wax and ancestors. Clarity in reference of the messages that you're giving us here. Clarity on the messages. Asha. Yeah. Once again, yeah. Ancestors say, source. Yeah. Listen, the main objective at hand that is here is this all about right now. I got Capricorn, Taurus, Virgo, Gemini, and did I say Virgo? Yes. And Leo that came out. And the ancestors say, what's been your focus and what's been so strongly going on with a lot of the collective is just trying to be successful. I'm hearing, I just want to be successful, right? That is about success. Also, some type of legal situation. Some of you are going to win settlements. Getting ready to get some type of money through some type of legal situation in some way. If you were waiting on some type of settlement, if you were waiting on some type of money through a legal situation or some type of court law, contracts, whatever it is definitely coming in. Okay. This is about money. This is about savings. This is about receiving. So this week is a good week in reference of receiving. That's going to help you on the things that you've endured in reference of your physical needs, your financial stability. Is looks like it's coming around for some of you, okay? Where some of you have dealt with these situations in the past, and it's been a strong issue, right? Where you need money assistance and things like that. Maybe even waiting on getting a loan or something like that. I'm seeing that happen. And once again, I still am keep getting about people coming together. I see a lot of that happen. I see people coming together this week in some shape, form, or fashion, whether that's with these nations that we're seeing that are struggling about coming together. But I do see an intervention, and I do see that it can shift and change with the leaders, okay, of different worlds. We may see that, but we may also see that some clash, right, because of pride and envy. So I do see that. It's definitely ancestors showing that things can change and be successful based off of you. No, you control the outcome of all situations. It's all about you making informed decisions and listening to your intuition and your discernment. The ancestors is definitely tapping in. The ancestors is wanting us to know that it's about you. I got my card of Ra, okay, on the occult, okay. So this is Tahuti and Ra. So this is the energy of the, and this is in the law of compensation. So I feel like this week with the Gibbous waning, it's a lot of Egyptian energy here too, right? Which I know they just put up like a restriction to Egypt, but I feel like that's also, this is source to me, right? This is source to me. I feel like this is the ancestor saying, yes, some things are going to be ending, but some things are going to be beginning. And there's going to be an intervention when it comes to, because 2 and 8 is 10, which goes back to that Jupiter. And I feel like there's going to be an expansion of knowledge this week when it comes to you connecting to source. So this week is a good week for you to connect to the ancestors, connect to the Most High, connect to the universe, do a lot of meditation, do your spiritual practices, your hygiene, burn your ancestor money, tap in, family. Okay, this is a good week to do that because the ancestors is definitely giving us a message in reference of occult knowledge being heightened, but also some of you with spiritual businesses, this week could be an expansion of that, okay, in some shape, form, or fashion. There's a lot of success that's in this spread for this week, family, okay, but it's about you. It's going to be a lot of you getting invited to things, having new meetings with people, mixing and mingling, but it's about you. You may be invited, you may be, but it's about, I said that. I don't know why answers wanted me to say that again. So maybe this is something to make sure you understand when you are invited, attend, right? with meetings, attend. Be organized, stay prepared. This is a good week to be preparing for things that are to come. Okay, preparation. It's not to scare you, it's to prepare you. So the ancestors want you to know this because there's going to be a lot of things that are getting ready to end for the collective. And that's the energy that's coming out. And it's a lot here about your earthly possessions. It's a lot here about your physical needs. It's a lot of things here about people coming together and nations coming together and us having to watch and endure some things about that, right? That's going to change something about how we live, and it's going to change some people's lifespan where it's going to be some endings, some deaths. I'm seeing nothing but death here. Okay. So, yes, we'll see this a lot this week. All right. Coming after this full moon, going in, well, we're in this gibbous waning, going to the last quarter, which is about endings, death, right? And it could come in reference to people's health, how they took care of themselves, how they, handled their health, is what I'm seeing. Capricorn, Gemini, Virgo, Taurus, Scorpio, Aries, Leo, and yeah. All right. So much love to you guys. I hope this reigns true to give you some type of information, confirmation, motivation, some inspiration. All right. In reference to the message here. Much love to you. Peace.